Hello everybody, welcome back to episode number 7 of the New York Jets franchise here on Madden 20. So in the last episode, as you guys saw, we absolutely destroyed the New England Patriots 52-10, I believe, or 52-13. Javonte Williams ended up getting player of the week for week number 11 with 2 touchdowns on the game. So far, Williams is having a stellar season, as I'll quickly go through the team stats. So Trey Lance almost at 1,000 yards, only 1 pick, same amount of touchdowns as Wolford so far. And then Javonte Williams is having an absolute all-star season. I doubt he's going to continue this pace, but I'd say right now he's probably a lock to win that Offensive Rookie of the Year. Looking at the receivers, Jamison Crowder and Kyle Pitts are our top guys as far as receiving yards are, and it looks like even with touchdowns, Smith-Schuster's had a good season, or I guess an average season, maybe not worth the $10 million we signed him for, but still being a quality receiver, which is all you can ask for. I would want to get Tutu Atwell maybe more involved in the future. It'll definitely be something I consider as we enter the offseason, and Javonte Williams has had good receiving numbers despite no touchdown. And then looking at the sacks, Quinnen Williams has been great. Bud Dupree's been awesome. We got him on an extension. And then Folaransu Fatukasi has been pretty good. Again, I just don't know if he's worth the big money. Maybe the franchise tag for 1 more year, or maybe we do some sort of tag-in trade with him in the offseason. Don't know if he's going to get on a big deal. And then looking at the interceptions, Marcus May, CJ Mosley, Hall, and Verrett all tied at the top here. So those are pretty much the stats to this point. And then now I wanted to go over, we are going to be doing a live commentary because after the Patriots game, I didn't really have any other games left on the schedule that I wanted to play. Looking down here, the Jags game might have been interesting to play Trevor Lawrence, the Bucks, maybe the Broncos, but every other game isn't really that big to me. I mean, the Dolphins are the only divisional game we have left because we already had all of our other divisional games to this point, and the Dolphins only have about 2 wins on the season, so I'd rather just take this chance to do a live commentary and kind of simulate through these games, see what happens, see if we can maybe manage to make the playoffs, and then it'll be in the next episode. And if I choose to play any one of these games, then we'll switch into a game commentary format in this video. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Hopefully we can pick up the big win against the number 1 overall pick, Trevor Lawrence, and his Jaguars, currently at 4-6. And we get an actual huge win, 38-17. That is amazing. I want to actually go ahead and see what's been going on. We are currently at a 5-game winning streak. You love to see it. Trey Lance had a good game, type of a game manager outing. Trevor Lawrence definitely struggled against us. Also, the Jags just try to pass the ball a lot more. Javonte Williams, though, this is a huge surprise, continuing his awesome season. James Robinson had a really good game against a pretty good run defense, so I'm interested to see how that turned out. Overall, not a huge game for either team's receivers. Kendrick Bourne had a nice game. Jamison Crowder and DJ Shark with touchdowns here. Kyle Pitts got a touchdown, though didn't produce too much with the yards, but that doesn't really matter. Good to see the rest of these guys getting involved, though. The Houston Texans, I don't know if this is still the case, but they still are without Deshaun Watson, their star quarterback. I doubt he is going to play another season here, so it'll be interesting. I really hope we can pick up the big win against them to kind of continue pace. It'll be 6 wins in a row, so if we lose, I won't be surprised, but it would be pretty cool to just get the win. And we get the strong win. So Trey Lance has continued to bless this team 6 in a row now against the Texans. Now, Lance kind of just a gunslinging game. Shout out to Andy Dalton for taking that backup role with pride again in Texas. But Trey Lance, maybe you don't want to see the 2 picks, but 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, awesome. 50 pass attempts. We just abused Trey Lance in this one, really threw him out there. Andy Dalton also just threw way too many passes. Looking at the rushing game, Trey Lance even leading the team in rushing yards. Javonte Williams had a horrible week. He's had a couple of these weird dud games this season, but I mean, if we're winning, it really doesn't matter too much. Jamison Crowder, though, with an insane game. It looks like we just had a big receiving game in general. Darnold, but Jamison Crowder, Smith-Schuster, Kyle Pitts, just everyone got the ball. It's nice to see Crowder, though, with a couple touchdowns. It'll be interesting to see if we bring him back, just because he's really played up to getting a big extension here in this offseason, so that'll be interesting. I want to see who got some picks for us. Mosley and Marcus May with some picks. Mosley also with a sack. Yeah, we do play the Dolphins this week. We even got a weekly award. Shout out CJ Mosley. And Justin Fields got a weekly award last week despite the loss, but this is an important game. If the Dolphins win and the Panthers lose, I think the Panthers will have the #1 pick. So honestly, I don't know how. I mean, obviously, I'd still prefer the win because it's probably best to believe the Panthers are going to lose this week. But we'll see how it goes. So let's get into this. So, wow. Okay, I'm blown away. We are 9-4, still at the top of the division. The Bills had an insane turnaround. Of course, the Dolphins lost. So before we look, or I guess we'll check the stats and then we'll see how the Panthers did. Trey Lance with another big game. Looks like Tua got benched for Brady White. Tua hasn't had a great season, though good on him, no turnovers. Javonte Williams with a huge game. This just looks like more of the same, just a huge offensive game. Shout out Mike Gesicki, Kyle Pitts, Smith-Schuster with big games, Jamison Crowder with a touchdown. Yeah, just a really good game. Shout out Fadakasi. Now it's time to see if that week was even better, to see who won. So sadly, the Panthers do get the big win. Good for Justin Fields and the Panthers, though. They probably need that. We still can get the 2nd overall pick. Shout out to the Packers for sucking. The Falcons with Zach Wilson still not doing very good. They haven't had the best season. I don't know much about them. I don't have a huge scouting report on them. But if we beat them and get 10 wins, this Jets team would have gone from 2 to 10 wins. So this sim is pretty big. And wow. Okay. Okay. I'm blown away by the fact that we have won all of these games. Trey Lance and has just completely, I mean, he's taking over. And the the best thing is that it's not compromising Javonte Williams. Now, Derrick Henry having this good of a game against our defensive line is worrisome. 100 yards after contact. Now, granted, his longest run was 71 yards, so I guess it's not all awful, but just, you know, hopefully we could cool it there. Looking at the receiving, A.J. Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster. Oh my God. These numbers are crazy. Jonnu Smith. Honestly, if Jonnu Smith would have hit free agency, we probably would have Justin Fields right now and wouldn't have taken Pitts. And then Rondale Moore with the big game, Kyle Pitts, and it seems like, where's Jamison Crowder? Did I just miss him? Where'd he go? I'm sorry. Crowder. Okay, Crowder did not have a very big game. Shout out to Juju Smith-Schuster, though. He's been playing much better these last few weeks. Titans got quite a few sacks on us. Don't like that. Quentin Williams with a sack, though, which is always nice. And then Blake Cashman and Jason Verrett with a pair of picks on the day. Exactly what you want to see. So now we take on Tom Brady's Bucks. They've had an insane mid-season turnaround. They're currently 9-5. I think they're probably going to beat us. They're just the much more talented team. They just got off to a slow start. Looking at the division, we're currently still in the lead. I guarantee you, as of right now, we're probably going to be playing for a wild card spot, even if we lose both of these games. So let's go ahead and simulate over this game against the Bucks. Yeah, okay. We got destroyed. We got a reality check, and the Bills continue to win. So now an interesting race here at the end. Looking at the NFL, the Panthers officially move into the #1 spot as the Dolphins got a random win. Let's see how we did. I think this might have been the first dud of Trey Lance's career, and it was. It was not a great game for Lance. Brady just dominated us. I mean, it's the Bucks. They're insane. Shout out Carlos Hyde for still kicking. Javonte Williams had a pretty good game, all things considered. Trey Lance had a decent game running on the ground, except was that a... Okay, no, that wasn't a fumble. Chris Godwin and Mike Evans destroyed us. I really wanted to see Chris Godwin hit free agency. I really wanted to try to bring him in. Sadly, he continues to dominate the league with Brady. Jamison Crowder back up here, and I mean, really nothing crazy from the receiving end. Devin White with a pick. And then looking at the sacks, this Bucks defensive line is insane. Shaq Barrett and Romeo Okwara. Shout out Bud Dupree with the sack, though. Now we take on the Broncos. They're an interesting young team as of right now, still led by quarterback Drew Lock. So let's see if we can get the win. Let's see what happens. Have we clinched the playoffs officially yet? So we still have not clinched the playoffs. We have a chance to miss, which is really going to be interesting. Shout out to the Ravens for having 2 ties. So I think this game is actually fairly important. So I would love it if we could win and maybe squeeze into the playoffs. But if we lose out, it's honestly fine. I did not expect us to make the playoffs at all. And then we'll check in with the awards after this week. Do we make the playoffs? And we do. We win by 3. A late game field goal puts us into the playoffs. I hope it was a late game field goal. That would be an awesome story. But listen, oh, man, this was absolutely insane. I'm so surprised that things went this way. Looking at it, the Broncos had a big game. Just Drew Lock couldn't escape the turnovers. Trey Lance had a great game. I think Trey Lance might have taken over Javonte Williams for Rookie of the Year, given that he's a quarterback. That's just my opinion. We'll look at it in a second. Jordan Howard had a big game. Had another long run. Don't know whether to freak out about that, though you would like to see the run defense. That's kind of a highlight of this team. Give up a few less yards. Javonte Williams continuing his great season. You love to see it. Looking at the receiving, Deshaun Hamilton, of all people, had a great game. Juju Smith-Schuster and Jamison Crowder and Kyle Pitts. Everybody had a good game for us. You absolutely love to see it. This is exactly what we wanted to see. Sadly, not a lot of Tutu Atwell involved here down the stretch. Just an issue with the Madden sim itself. And then looking at the sacks, Bud Dupree continuing his nice season, and then May and Austin with some picks there. So we are officially a playoff team. We won the division even. I mean, this is insane. This has to be one of the best turnarounds. It's up there with the 49ers turnaround when they went to the Super Bowl. But an 11-5 team, after going 2-14 with Sam Darnold at the helm, we go 11-5. We clinch the division. We will be playing the Bills in the wild card, and this is not the same Bills team we played in week 1. This is a much better, much more disciplined team, so it'll be interesting to see if we can win. Now, looking at some other teams, the Panthers ended the season 3-13. We'll see if we have the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft. And the New Orleans Saints, led by Sam Darnold in his first year, takes them to the playoffs. You love to see it. Good for Sam Darnold. We're going to see if he ended up being the starter through the end of the year. Trey Lance, absolutely insane season. We'll go over some of his stats later. Justin Fields, looks like we made the right choice in the draft here. And then looking at the Saints, Sam Darnold had a good year. Good for him. Good for him and Sean Payton continuing to do good things over there. They even had 2 1,000-yard receivers. But looking back at our Jets, so how did we do? So first of all, we almost had 2 1,000-yard receivers with Schuster and Crowder. So Schuster, down the stretch, played up to that contract. Might not have been the best red zone target for us, but he produced on the ground, and that's really what you want to see. Kyle Pitts was also really good for us. You love to see this from the top 10 pick. Just another good weapon out there. Rondale Moore, did not expect to get him in the second round. He was awesome. Javonte Williams kept doing what he was doing, though he didn't get a receiving touchdown. Wish Tutu Atwell got more involved. It looks like he was mostly only used whenever we actually played games, so just a problem more with Madden itself. Looking at the rushing here, Javonte Williams. Dude, this is an insane rookie season from a guy we picked towards the end of the second round. Trey Lance ended up coming in having more rushing yards than Jerick McKinnon. And keep in mind, Trey Lance started, I think, he started from week 8 to now. So imagine if he played the entire season for us, how his stats would look. Shout out to Troy Carter, the fullback, getting another touchdown. Looking at the defense, though, CJ Mosley looks like he had a great year. And then looking at the sacks, Bud Dupree, I'm glad we brought him back. I hope he can do like half of this in the next years. Quinnen Williams was great. Fadukasi was all right. Again, just probably a guy that we're going to franchise tag, probably a guy that might get traded on that franchise tag. And then looking at the interceptions, Marcus May, the big safety, big-time guy that we ended up paying this offseason, looks like he did pretty good with 8 pass deflections and a forced fumble. I want to look, we were the 4th-ranked offense in the league, and I want to see some of these yearly awards. So Josh Allen surprises everyone, somehow wins the MVP over Mahomes. That just doesn't make any sense. And Pete Carroll, of all people, wins Coach of the Year. Somehow Robert Saleh doesn't get it. We'll give it to him in our hearts because we all know he probably would have gotten it in the real world. Looking at the AFC, though, right now your Offensive Player of the Year is Josh Allen. Second was Baker Mayfield. Third, Mahomes. Javonte Williams was in fourth there. Patrick Queen winning Defensive Player of the Year. Nice to see him bouncing back. CJ Mosley was fourth. Looking at Rookie of the Year, and Javonte Williams beats out his teammate Trey Lance. I'm telling you, if Lance started the whole way through, he would have snatched up this award. Kyle Pitts is there. Rondale Moore is here. I mean, if we didn't sign Juju Smith-Schuster, I guarantee you Rondale Moore would have gotten it. Looking at the Defensive Rookie of the Year, we did not have anyone on this list. Shout out to Carlos Basham. Best quarterback is Mahomes because Madden is Madden. So the Offensive Player of the Year and the MVP was the 6th best quarterback in the AFC. Shout out to Drew Lock being number 2. Williams, of course, was the best running back. You love to see it. And then Jamison Crowder makes the short list out of all of our receivers for best wideout. And then on the offensive line, we did not have anyone. The Browns and the Colts kind of dominated this list as they should. On the defensive line, we didn't have anybody either. At linebacker, CJ Mosley did come in 3rd, arguably 2nd. Von Miller is an edge rusher, and TJ Watt as well, but we won't get into that. That's just Madden being dumb. And best defensive back, shout out Marcus May. We paid him last offseason. Looks like it's paying off as he gets 3rd there. Jason Verrett, another guy we paid, he gets 5th. And Bryce Hall, the young guy, getting 9th. Hopefully they get some favorable development from the tool this next season, and then we don't have anything for best kicker. So overall, this was a crazy season. Happens. The next episode is going to be us taking on the Bills in that wild card game, seeing if somehow we can advance. Again, I didn't even see us winning more than like 7 games this season, so to just finish like this is crazy. But thank you all for watching if you made it this far. This was me out of my comfort zone with live commentary, so I apologize. There might have been an awkward cut or two made throughout this video, but regardless, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.